Everybody, welcome to Let's Talk About Things and Stuff, where we talk about things and also stuff. I'm your friendly neighborhood youth guy, Matt Parker, and this is my good friend, Katelyn.
Hey.
How you doing today, Katelyn?
Not too bad.
Pretty
I'm
good?
off today, so I get to just relax.
Yeah, that's good. You actually came in earlier than I was expecting you today, so I had us down for 10 o'clock, and you came at 9 o'clock. And it's probably because I put it in wrong. I put it in my calendar wrong. Mm-hmm. Because
we agreed upon 9 o'clock when we made these plans.
That is one reason why I was completely unprepared when you came down the hallway, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Katelyn, of course, yeah, let's go." And also, we have no plan for our conversation today, so we're just going to see how it goes. We're going to, as we used to say in golf, grip it and rip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't golf, so I wouldn't know if that was a saying or not.
That's just when you just hold as tight to the club as you can and just swing hard at the ball and see where it goes. I watched Happy Gilmore last week, and this might be where this came from in my mind. Mm-hmm. And have you ever seen Happy Gilmore?
I have, but it's just been a while since I've watched it. Everybody
who cared about Happy Gilmore, one of the funny things about the movie is he gets up like this. And then, runs up to the ball and just swings, which no real golfer would do. But in the movie, that sort of kind of approach helps him to, drive the ball 400 yards. And so he became, a pro golfer by using this approach. Mm-hmm. And it was hilarious. And one of my favorite 90s movies of all time. So... although there are others, there's a long list of my favorite 90s movies, mm-hmm. including The Matrix, which I also watched a few weeks ago. So, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. So.
You've never seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
It's quite good. Lots of gospel implications in The Matrix. But yeah, it's good. You should watch it. It's very, very good.
I don't know if I've ever.
It is also very, very violent.
The desire to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just haven't really had a real interest in something inside of me pulling me to watch. Oh, I should watch The Matrix.
Ooh.
That hasn't happened in my lifetime.
I need to include Matrix trivia in our trivia night.
No.
No? Are you on a trivia night team?
I am. Yes.
Yeah.
The young adults have another team this year, so.
I love it. Are you going to win?
We're hoping to.
You wouldn't compete unless you were going to win. Or thought you could win.
Yeah. What are the categories? Can you share that?
I cannot share that. Only 2 people have seen the list of categories, and even the other person didn't take a good look at them because she's on a team also. And so the categories are a complete secret. And the questions, only one person knows anything about any of the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be fun. So what are you excited about? Summer's coming. What do you have going on these days?
Not much. I agreed to full-time hours at Old Navy just because it was the easiest choice and it would be what I know. Mm-hmm. And so there's that. Then I'll be going on the mission trip. So.
Yeah, you will. I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So full-time hours. What does that look like for a week at the Old Navy?
So in the position I'm in, I help with on our shipment days. So Tuesday, Thursdays, I'm up and I have to be there at 6 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then usually Mondays I'll be up at 6, and it depends on what we have for the week, but I'll either get a Wednesday or a Saturday off. Because I never work Sundays.
Yeah.
So
you get Sunday off and then one other day during the week off. Mm-hmm. And today it just happens to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
It could be a different day on another week.
Mm-hmm.
So full-time hours, do you get 40 hours a week then? And
I range between 32 to 40.
Nice.
So it depends on what is needing to be done that week and who all they have for that.
Very cool. Very cool. So, so you're going on the mission trip. Any other big plans for summer?
Not really. I'm wanting to try and make a couple of the Hot Country Night concerts over down in Power at Light.
Yeah.
And Warren Zeiders is one that I really want to go to.
I have never heard of that person before in my life before you mentioned him.
Uh-huh.
Walter...
No.
No? What is it?
Warren Zeiders.
Zeiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's the countryest name I've ever heard. No, yeah. So okay. So country music has changed over the years. Is this more like Florida Georgia line country, or more Luke Bryan kind of?
So I would categorize Florida Georgia Line and Luke Bryan together.
Together, okay.
Because they're very pop country people.
Yes.
And
do you enjoy pop country?
Sometimes. It depends on the song.
Okay.
I don't know, because there's some that have gotten played so often on the radio that I'm tired of hearing them.
Right.
And so then that, it ruins the song for me. But I don't know. But for Warren Zeiders, I wouldn't classify him as more of the style of 90s country, but it's not entirely pop country.
All right. Okay, so country music is kind of a heart language for me. I grew up in central Arkansas, very rural area. I wasn't on the farm, but I spent a lot of time on farms.
Mm-hmm.
And so country music was just in my soundtrack of my growing up years. So 80s country, 90s country, it really hits my heart. Reba was big during that time. Alan Jackson,
mm-hmm.
There's just a ton of really great country music artists through that time, and it was also the time when Garth Brooks kind of came in, and it became it was a really okay, so we would go two-stepping on a Friday night, and a lot of people were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because it was a small town in Arkansas, but it was country music was making there was a big thing across the country, and then Garth Brooks came along and capitalized on all of that. You can't actually get Garth Brooks on Spotify
mm-hmm.
because he holds his copyrights really tight and doesn't want to give up any of that. But anyway, he made it so popular that there was this whole pop kind of tinge to the music, and he was still, I would still classify him in more of the country music range, but he was such an out there popular figure that other people came in and began to shift it into a pop genre, to the point where Taylor Swift moves from country music to pop, and nobody notices. It's like...
Oh, I did.
It was like this... there was almost no difference between Taylor Swift of country music. Was Red a country music album?
No.
Red was pop.
Mm-hmm.
Was that her first pop album?
Was that her second album?
I don't remember.
I mean, because her debut album is primarily the only one that's country.
Fearless, right? Was that after Red or before Red?
I have no idea.
Anyway.
No, I can't keep track of that. That's not something I care too deeply about.
But she was her brand of country music, there wasn't much difference when she started into pop. What? I mean, how can you call yourself being in one genre if there's almost no difference when you make a leap into another? That's my question. Now, obviously, her later stuff has been way more different
mm-hmm.
from her early stuff. But so there's an obvious difference there. But I mean, why even call it country music at that point, right?
So would you strictly call it pop music then?
I would call her her country stuff. I would call pop and not country. Even though there's still guitars and she sings in a country accent.
That she faked. So I can't confirm or deny if it's fully true, but I've seen videos pop up of one of her first big live performances, after her debut album, and people are critiquing her for her accent, like she's forcing it on top of her singing, because you're gonna get someone who has a Southern accent, you're gonna hear it to an extent when they sing, but you're not gonna hear it to its entirety in every single sound of each word.
Mm-hmm.
But with her, it's like she forced that a little more than others. So people are like, she's faking it, and she was just trying to get into country when she shouldn't have been, and blah, blah, blah.
Have you ever been watching a show and been like, that person isn't actually from the South, but they're trying real hard? Like a TV show or a movie?
Like an actor putting on a different accent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been watching a TV show and it's set like in Georgia, and it's totally like a South Carolina accent or Texan, but so they completely they mistake that there are different regions that have their own sort of version of a Southern accent.
See, I'm no expert on which area has which twang or whatever.
Yeah.
I just know Southern accents are Southern accents. But I couldn't tell you where they specifically came from.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Like, I'll be watching a show set in, like, Georgia.
Okay.
Or Alabama. And like, there's, mostly they'll get it right, but there's this one person in the whole thing that's like, South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina, but they're actually from Alabama in the show, like born and bred in Alabama, and I'm like, you're not from Alabama.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
I believe it.
It drives me crazy.
I just, having grown up in the Midwest and not experienced the variety and been able to notice the slight variances in those accents, I can't say I relate to that, but I have no doubt that it is true.
I bet there are linguists and people who've studied dialects that could tell exactly where you're from within a pretty small range. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People will study anything they want.
Yeah. But okay, so back to country music, right?
Okay.
How do you feel about like this new move back to country? Like Post Malone did his America song at the Super Bowl. Was that at the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. And Reba sang the national anthem. Mm-hmm. That was fun. How do you feel about like? I mean, we've talked about Beyonce's country, non-country,
yeah.
album. But what do you think about this whole trend back to country music?
I mean, I kind of love it. It's what I mean, not like you. I didn't spend much time on farms, but I grew up on country music because that's what my parents grew up on, and that's what they love. Mm-hmm. So that's my exposure to it, and so that's what I'm comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And I mean, lately I've even been listening to more. I mean, for various years of country, but what I grew up on, because it's what I've known best and what I have really enjoyed of all the music that I've listened to. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You know who my favorite country music artist of all time? In my top 5 country music artists of time. George Strait.
Absolutely.
George Strait did the transition from 1980s to 1990s country. Loved it. Mm-hmm. Every song. And I could probably, most of them, I could probably sing to you right now. Out of the Clear Blue Sky. I've got oceanfront property in California. All my exes live in Texas. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Alan Jackson's up there for me, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 I can't wait to hear Post Malone's country music.
I am intrigued. I mean, him working with Hardy and Morgan Wallen is, I see it as a sign of it's still going to be pop country.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'll be an interesting thing that it's going to be interesting no matter what, because it's Post Malone who has been singing pop and things like that his whole career, but then he switches to country, so.
Good stuff. I can't wait. So I hope you have a good time at your country music concert?
I got like a month,
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
Till then, so.
Okay, here's a trend that I've heard of, right? And I've noticed this with my daughter too. Like people like plan a trip to a concert, like even like across the state or like across the nation, like 6 months in advance. And they're like, okay, Taylor Swift is going to be in Kansas City. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the first one, like within an hour of the tickets going on sale. They're going to be sold out, so I got to get on it right away. And then like plan out 6 months in advance, like this major event. Have you noticed that? Is that a thing?
I mean, I have seen it. When you first mentioned Taylor Swift, first of all, her tour that she just went on of this, like the sales for those tickets was absolutely chaotic.
Yeah.
Because she broke Ticketmaster.
Right, like Ticketmaster is like being sued or something like that.
Because it broke and people couldn't get tickets, and so, because it crashed, and you're like several hundred, like dozens of thousands behind, like in queue, waiting for your turn to get tickets, if you're going to get tickets.
Yeah.
And so, but planning that far ahead, I mean, I bought tickets to NF 5 months ahead of time.
Yeah,
so.
And that's just next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love to be at that concert. It's not a time that I can be there, but
yeah,
I have another concert to go to that night. You know what it is? Poppin' Jazz at Lee Summit High School.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I was growing up, all right, we would go to like coffee houses, and there would be bands like playing at a coffee house or at a small venue. Do you see people doing that anymore? Like there's local bands at small venues, bars, or coffee houses, or whatnot?
I can't say that I have, because I don't go out to bars and small venues and things like that often.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have that ability to go see those things potentially.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't mean that they're not there. I know, like, I think down at Bricks, they do an occasional, like, live band, or a couple other restaurants in downtown. They do that, but I haven't seen anything personally, but...
Yeah. I've been to Nashville a few times, and they have, like... There's, like, this one row, one street, where there's, like, bar after bar after bar, and, like, you'll walk down the street, and there's live music coming out, and every now and then there'll be a semi-famous, somebody who's really, hoofing it and trying to make it big in Nashville, and you might have heard a song from them on the radio or something like that, and they'll have a little bit more crowd at their place. But I don't see that so much around here. Like they may be there. I'm just unaware of them. In Austin, Texas, 7th Street there, I think it's 7th Street, is kind of the same thing in Austin, and right around there, Austin City Limits is this, or South by Southwest, sorry. South by Southwest is like this major independent, music festival thing that they have there, and it's the same kind of deal where you just walk and go from band to band, and it's just like us, nonstop, one concert after another kind of thing. I don't know. I just like the feel of that. Hey, let's just go to the concert tonight. But then most of the concerts they're just that you want to go to, they're just sold out. They don't have any seats available. It's interesting. I'd like to explore that a little more.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. What else are you excited about for the summer?
I don't know. I've listed out everything that I'm planning on doing, so...
Are you going to do any, like, vacations or anything?
I don't know. Because the only vacation I would possibly go on is down to my grandparents' lake house. But...
Going to the lake. Love it.
So.
Sounds fun. I love a good lake house vacation. Especially if they have a dock. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, because what they used to do because I'm the youngest of the 4 grandchildren, and so the two middle ones and we would go to Camp Apache. They live on Apache Road. Nice. And they would take the 3 of us down for a week, and they'd have a whole week full of activities.
Yeah.
And like some were like, one year they did an eating challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They put like 3 or 4 different things in little Ziploc bags, put it in a paper bag. You had to draw it out of the bag without even looking and eat it, or there was some like consequence. I don't remember. I won that challenge because the other 2 are picky eaters. So, then
that sounds fun.
There was always a day we would go to a local water park.
Mm-hmm.
There was a year we went to a campground for a couple nights. The raccoons got into our food the first night, so they touched pretty much everything. So we had to go to the store super early next morning, go and replenish all that. But yeah, it would be a week long of activities and things to do at our grandparents' lake house.
That sounds fun.
It was.
I like that. I like that a lot. The Parkers are considering a trip to a lake somewhere. We haven't nailed anything down yet, but it's one of my favorite places to go. Okay, so like I could do a house with a dock. I don't even need to be on the water. Just sitting, looking out over the water. I could sit there for like days and be completely content. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to look out over nothingness. Fire and water are my favorite things to be nothingness.
I mean, if you sit there long enough, there's probably a boat race that'll come by if you're out at my grandparents' lake house.
Yeah, that's fine. What lake is it on?
Ozarks.
Oh, okay.
They're on Osage Beach.
Nice. Okay. Fantastic. I was out there not too long ago for a MMEA state convention thing. I was there with Misha. I took a few personal days and we just went out there and stayed on the lake, and it was a good time.
Nice.
It's a nice lake. Okay. Well, we have a lot of things coming up for student ministry stuff. Like we're gonna. Okay, so on Sunday mornings we're doing Bible study. Oh, this is fun. We're gonna talk about like the book of Judges and how it relates to our current political situation.
Okay.
And how we should think about politics in our as Christians. Like, what should our approach to politics be, and how should we think about how we make our political decisions and things like that? I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. It's not going to be like, here's this partisan thing that's going on right now. How should you vote? So we're not going to be talking about like abortion or anything like that. But we're going to be like the higher level kind of. Let's talk about our view of politics just in general. So it should be fun. And then on Wednesday nights we're gonna go bowling one night. We're gonna hang out at the pool one night. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a cookout with another church, Lee Summit Community Church. We're gonna have a cookout with them.
Nice.
One night. I'm excited about that. Our groups are about the same size, and I've been getting to know their youth guy, and so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. Yeah. And of course, there's mission trip and VBS and all of that stuff thrown in there too. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good summer. It's gonna be a real good summer. So, anyway, well, cool. Anything else you have to share?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. Let us know in the comment section what you're doing this summer. What's your what are you planning? If you have any major family vacations or anything like that, drop it in the comment section. Approach us on the street. Say, hey, I'm going to the beach this summer, or whatever it is that you don't have to say you're going to the beach if you're not actually going to the beach. Just let us know what you're doing, and we'd love to hear from you. And as always, drop your comments and compliments in the comment section, and we'd love to hear from you. So thanks for joining us for Let's Talk, and we'll see you again next time.